Is Bennett still on a 4.0 GPA scale, and do we have a class rank?
Good question. So Bennett does not have a 4.0 scale per se. We report all of our grades on a 100-point scale. So if you earn, let's say, a 95 in a algebra class, you get a 95 on your report card and on a transcript. We then calculate a 100-point GPA for all your classes. And then as a convenience to colleges, we do calculate that 100-point overall GPA into a 4.0 scale. So on the transcript, there is a 4.0 conversion, but our report card mainly reports all of the student grades in a 100-point scale. And then the question in terms of class rank, we ended up stopping ranking our students probably about 10 to 12 years ago. Based on a recommendation from our college counselors, they found that because our student population is so talented, a class rank was actually misidentifying them as weaker than they really were. So for example, if you finished in even the bottom third of a class at Bennett Academy, you were very well prepared to succeed in college, maybe even when compared to someone who finished in the top half of the class at another school. So we do not rank anymore.
Thank you. Matt, what can I do to help my child get caught up in religion class coming from a public school?
Sure. So there really is no required curriculum that our incoming freshmen would need to have. Our freshman religion teachers understand that we have students coming from a wide variety of feeder schools. I'm coming to Bennett Academy, approximately 100 to actually give you the number. And our freshman curriculum is designed for all students to be able to succeed. So there is no prerequisite in terms of needing to study up on or familiarize yourself with any particular content. Your son or daughter showing up for class, eager to learn, is all they'll need to be adequately equipped to find success in that class.
Okay, excellent. Bill, going off of the religion question, does religion count towards the GPA?
Yes and no. So Bennett offers 4 GPAs. We offer a weighted all subject GPA and a non-weighted all subject GPA. So because it's all subjects, yes, religion is included in that all subject GPA. The other 2 GPAs we offer is the weighted core GPA and the non-weighted core GPA. And core here means the core curriculum. So that would exclude any classes in religion, fine arts, and PE. It does include, therefore, English, math, science, social studies, and classical world languages. So yes and no. It is included in the all subject GPA, but is not included in the core GPA.
Thank you. Bill, will you actually tell us what classes are required all 4 years as well?
Sure. So there's actually only 2 departments that have a 4-year requirement to graduate Bennett Academy, and they are English and religion. So those are 4 years of required coursework. Other departments include math, I think, as a 3-year requirement. Social studies and classical world languages have a 2-year requirement, I believe. Science has a 3-year requirement, and then PE has a 2.5 or 2.5 credits. So that's done over 3 years, but it meets every other day.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Matt, when does the school day start and end?
Sure. So our school day starts at 7:45 on the dot. That's when your son or daughter should be in their first period class, ready to go, and for us to start our day with prayer. There is a warning bell at 7:40 so that people in the hallways that are socializing with their friends know they've got 5 minutes to be in their first period class. And then we end the day with prayer as well at 2:59. Not 3 o'clock, but 2:59.
Thank you, Matt. Bill, is there a way for parents to get an email with daily announcements so that we know what's going on in the school?
Sure. We have our daily announcement posted on Plus portals. So if a parent logs in, they can click on a link that says daily announcements, and then that way they can see what happens. Also, I should point out, there is a weekly email that's actually emailed to all families, and that weekly email kind of lays out what's happened clearly in the week, past, but also some future events too. And the good news about that email, it really tries to get every office in the building involved. So athletics is in it, development is in it, recruitment and admissions is in it. So the weekly newsletter is something I would like to highlight, but also if you need a daily announcement, you can always log on to Plus portals and find it there.
Thank you very much. Matt, speaking of the Plus portals, how do we provide secure information on payment plan to the school?
Sure. So one of the things that our Director of Financial Services will request prior to school starting is a payment method form. that form we realized might contain some sensitive financial information on it. So if you're not comfortable in emailing that form to us, you can always drop it off in person here at Bennett Academy. You could also mail it if that's something you'd be comfortable with as well. If you have any questions about that, feel free to contact our Director of Financial Services, Michelle Renneker, whose email contact information can also be found in our digital admissions packet.
Thanks, Matt. Bill, how do orchestra, choir, and band work with a freshman schedule?
Great. So during the freshman schedule, all freshmen have a period every day of study hall, and then an every other day study hall that meshes with their PE. Now, students who want to take band or choir will give up some of that study hall time. If they're in band or orchestra, they'll actually give up an everyday study hall. So they'll only have that every other day study hall that meshes with PE. And then the chorus kids meet every other day, and that then meshes with their PE study hall. So band kids do need to give up their everyday study hall, but we'll have that every other day study hall. And then our choir kids give up the every other day study hall, still having a full day study hall in their schedule.
Excellent. Bill, with that study hall comment, can my student take private voice lessons during study hall?
Yes. So we do have a way for private lessons to be done in the school building during study halls. There is this process when the private instructor needs to be cleared, so that we do background checks and protecting God's children. We also want that private lessons person vetted by our department chair, just to make sure that they're qualified to help your child. And I'm sure they are, but we just want to make sure that they're getting good instruction. So you should contact Mr. Brian Wan if you would like to set something up.
Awesome. Thank you, Bill.
Mhm.
Matt, how do I provide a copy of my child's birth certificate?
It's a great question as well. You can, when you're dropping off that payment method form, you could also bring us a copy of your child's birth certificate. If you'd like to mail that to us, that's okay. What's important to note is we don't need an original birth certificate. A photocopy of a birth certificate would be just fine.
Thank you, Matt. And for our final question, Bill, what is the format of the proficiency test?
Great. So the two proficiency tests, or the two departments that are for proficiency tests, are math and then classical world languages. All classical world languages are 60 minutes long. The math proficiency tests are 60 or 90, 60 for algebra, 90 for geometry. All of the proficiency tests will have both a multiple choice section, but then also what we'd call a free response section, where students are either asked to, in a language, do a writing sample, and math actually work out problems so we can see the steps the students use to solve it. And in geometry, I know a 2-column proof is required. So that is some things that are sometimes done in middle school geometry classes, but sometimes not. So your son or daughter would want to prepare for 2-column proofs if they're planning on taking the geometry proficiency.
Thank you both so much for joining me today. I know these frequently asked questions are really, really good ones. So thank you everybody else for providing these for us. Should you happen to have any other questions for any one of us, our email addresses are very straightforward. It would be the first letter of our first name, our last name, and then @bennett.org. We look forward to seeing you all soon. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.